How does sleep affect your memory? Hey, does your brain feel like a rock sometimes? Is it difficult to remember new information? Is it difficult to recall new information? Does your brain make you feel like a moron sometimes? And what if we could turn your brain into a sponge? What if it could absorb new information more easily? What if you could boost by sleeping better? What if you could boost your short-term and your long-term memory? Well, that's what I want to share with you, baby, today. So, before we get started, what's the problem? Why is it so difficult sometimes to remember new information, to recall new information? Well, the problem is this: the forgetting curve. See, there is this thing where when you learn new information, 1 hour later, your brain forgets more than 50% of the new information that you've learned. 24 hours later, all that's remained in your brain is just 30%. Why is that? What's going on? Well, this is happening because your brain is like, well, not a rock. Your brain is not a rock. Come on, man. Don't be silly. But your brain is more like a USB drive. See, it has limited space. Once it runs out of space, once the USB drive runs out of space, what happens? You cannot retain any more information. You need to put it from short-term memory to long-term memory. But how do we do that consistently? Because if we don't, we forget everything. It's more difficult to keep recalling, and we just come out as a freaking moron in situations where we want to seem like an Einstein instead. Well, here's where Einstein comes in. I found out that Einstein used to take naps, daily naps. And why? Why is that? Why is this man who had a big brain, big memory there, why did he take naps? Well, that's what I got interested as soon as I found out that he was this smart man was taking daily naps. I got interested, I got into the science, the nap science behind it, and here's what I found. Just last year they published this study where they wanted to figure out what's better, to keep learning new information, to keep cramming your brain with new information, or to take a nap. So, to examine that, to answer this question, they took 2 groups of people, separated them into 60 people total, separated them into 30 people, 30 groups each. The first group were the learners. They learn new information. When I say new information, I don't mean just names and places and things like that. No, I mean high level, academic level information, baby. So they would learn new information for 60 minutes, then they would take a pause, a break, then they would learn for 60 minutes more, and then they would get tested. The second group, they would also learn for about 60 minutes, then they would take a break, and then they would nap for 60 minutes. And right afterwards, which group do you think, when they were tested, which group do you think did better than the ones who did 2 sessions of learning, or the ones who learned and napped? Well, at first I thought it would be the ones who learned twice. It makes more sense, they took more information in, but get this. Their test scores were like this. The nappers, they were similar test scores, but the nappers, they did a little bit better. Overall, similar results. Now, here's where things get interesting. What about, so short-term memory, the results were kind of similar. What about long-term memory though? That's the big question. So 8 days later, they gave them a second test, and this time, which group do you think did better? The ones who learned twice as long, or the ones who napped in that time that the others learned? Well, 8 days later, the nappers did still better. That's right, they still had higher, significantly higher test score results. How is that possible? Because, come on, man, the first group, they took twice as much, they learned twice as long, while the other group, they were just in bed, they were just sleeping, doing nothing. How is it possible that they had better short-term and better long-term memory? Well, the reason is because their brain and your brain as well has limited space. The ones who are cramming new information in their USB drive, once their USB drive ran out of information, they could not retain anything. The nappers, on the other hand, by napping, they put all that new information into their long-term memory. So, if you want to boost your short-term, long-term memory, I have two suggestions for you. Option number one, you can do what these nappers did in the study. You can take the 60-minute long nap, and by doing that, you will boost both your short-term memory and your long-term memory. That's option number A. What's option number B? Option number B, well, when I looked at that research, I thought to myself, Vulcan, this seems pretty cool. I am learning new information every single day, and I'm learning a lot of new information, very high level information every single day. So I thought to myself, I could take naps, but who's got 60 minutes every single day to nap? You're probably busy. I'm busy as hell. I don't have 60 minutes every single day for napping. I want to take a short nap and still be able to boost my short and long-term memory, still be able to remember new information. So that is why I invented the Einstein power nap. That's right, what's an Einstein power nap? It's a nap. It's a short nap which boosts your short-term and your long-term memory. So if you want to find out more about how to take an Einstein power nap which makes you remember information more easily and recall it afterwards more easily, comment down below Einstein and I'm gonna send you the details. With that said, sleep angelic and perform energetic. I'm gonna see you tomorrow.